All right, good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is our part two, Intro to Podcast part two, hosting by the Eastern Region Iotas. My name is Tashin Stallings, and I serve as the Eastern Region Community Impact Liaison. I want to thank you all for joining us for our part two session, which is being facilitated by Brother Les Hamilton. But before we get to Les, I want to take the opportunity and have you brothers and individuals who are joining us, just introduce yourselves, let us know where you're from, what you're doing. Okay, everybody don't be shy.
Wow. Okay, let me go quickly before I fall over in, in case the internet just messes up out here. But Emmanuel Gilmore, Tail Dog, former Polaris Gamma Omicron chapter at Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. So it's a pleasure to be out here with all of my brothers. Moved up to DC a little bit for what, maybe 3-4 years before moved home to Ghana. Then I moved to Mauritius 3-4 years ago to teach entrepreneurial leadership, and then I'm in South Africa now. So I'm doing some research on African-Continental Free Trade Agreement, and then working with our Ministry for Tourism, Arts, and Culture in Ghana. So I'm super excited. We were supposed to have done like Beyond the Return 2.0 because we had a lot of like Beyonce's mom. So Beyonce was in Ghana, but it was like hush hush because of all that was going on. So hopefully in the next coming years we can connect with brothers that want to come home and come check out space again. But it's a pleasure being here.
All right, I'm gonna start calling people if nobody volunteers.
They're not even showing video, bro. Let me see what's going on.
All right, Amar, you with us? All right, maybe Amar stepped away. Oh wait, Amar, I saw you, Amar. I saw your mic come off. Come on, man.
My bad, I was trying to eat.
Okay.
I'm Ahmed Hamid. I'm actually in North Carolina. I'm currently with New Omega in North Carolina. Right now, I'm just living. I was teaching, but of course we're on a hiatus right now with the COVID and everything. So I'm just at the house chilling right now. Just trying to listen in, see what's going on, man.
All right, cool. Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.
George, you next.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Name is George Slade, currently database analyst up at the FTC, crossed in spring of 15, out in PG County. Just currently joined Gamma Omicron Omega as a chapter member. So just coming in to see how everyone's doing and check out a good podcast, see if I can learn anything and take it from there.
All right, thanks, George. All right, King Leo.
Sorry, it's just because I'm outside and it's loud. My name's Leo. I don't know. I'm actually really excited right now. I feel giddy because to hear that the Eastern Region is doing this. I'm a former 2008 Eastern Region Brother of the Year, and was always happy to see that we're doing things like this. I work in entertainment and technology. I'm an analyst for Viacom CBS, and I'm also a writer and a rapper. So I got a podcast idea that I'm about to jump out the window with, and I thought it'd be good for me to come learn from Brother Hamilton what I'm looking at before I jumped out there. So honored to be here and honored to meet all y'all brothers.
Great, thank you, man. Appreciate you guys joining us. Without further ado, I want to introduce our facilitator, Les Hamilton, currently with Psi Omega up in Baltimore, Maryland. Les is also a financial advisor. He has his own podcast, and he'll share more about himself.
Brothers all the way across the board. My name is Les Hamilton. I am a full-time Navy recruiter. I crossed with Beta Theta Omega chapter, which was basically Western Philadelphia, back in 2010, April 15, 2010. So Spring 10 in the building. From that time, I've worked with chapters across the country. Wherever I got stationed, I found some brothers, right? And I always, and because of that, I always felt at home. So I always let people know that, we are a network of brothers who are always about positivity and always about giving back everywhere we are. And that's why we have the reputation on campuses that we do. Whenever somebody says like, hey, you an Iota? Oh, my friend is an Iota. I love to hear stuff like that because we are a friend to many and, we're brothers to each other. So this podcast webinar that I, am doing with Brother Tashin in the Eastern region it's to open your eyes to something that you can just create, right? So before in the first episode, we talked about ideas to reality, right? The topic, whatever you want your podcast to be, I always believe that it should be something that you can't go one day without talking about, right? Because that's where your passion is going. It has to be something that you can always discuss with somebody, right? Because you'll always have content. Simple. When you're talking about particular names that you want to, have for your podcast, 25, just write down 20 to 25, just different variations of the same thing, or different variations of, what your specific topic is. Alliteration is always good. And then always being simplistic, be a minimalist when it comes to the name. Don't, have 7 different types of words come across people's screen. It's going to be really hard to find. Just focus group the name for something catchy and make sure that it's something easy that people can remember. We also went over the software, right? So I'm going to put the software in the chat box for you guys who weren't here last time. For you newcomers, Anchor. Oh, thanks, Shane. Clutch. So you got Anchor, and then we have Audacity. And I will show you guys what these are again when I share my screen. MP3 converter, and then also Ari, right? Now, when it comes to the equipment, I just use my computer. And the reason why is because in this new Zoom age, you'll see a lot of people on Instagram and they'll have like their the YouTube ones where they got the microphones and it costs like $600 or $700 for like the stands and everything like that because they're like sound, but they're really focused on video, right? Because the sound that you're going to get from the video is going to be recorded on something completely different, right? Unless they merge both files, which could be a little bit of work when it comes to matching up the words with the moving of the lips, right? And I'm not a professional editor or anything like that, but you can definitely just do it the way that I'm doing it right now and it'll be super easy. So they focus more on video when you go on YouTube. However, you can use Audacity and Anchor and Ari and all of these other programs to basically do your podcast for free. So MP3 converter was free. Ari cost $20 for a license. Audacity was free. And Anchor is also free for you to host your podcast on that particular platform. The only thing with Anchor is it gives you an RSS feed, which is what you need to share your podcast with other platforms. However, Spotify, Spotify, they send it to them. They send it to Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all that other stuff. The only people that they don't send it to is Apple. It's the only thing. So you would actually have to manually go into iTunes and request that your RSS feed be added. And it only takes maybe 3 or 4 days to do so. But once you have an episode, once you have your, you created your episode and everything like that, you already have an RSS feed with Anchor, so then you could just submit it. And it only takes a couple of days, and it's automatic too. So the one that I'm going to be posting today, after I get a commercial from Brittany Phillips on the 1 Million Families Initiative, then I'm going to, play around with her audio, put a background in it, and then throw it into the episode. And then you guys will be able to hear that as well. It was much more than a hashtag episode that I did with Dr. Carolyn Harper, Minister, I'm getting right, McCarthy, Anthony McCarthy, and then also Brother Kendall Jenkins from the Solid Mega chapter as well. So those are literally everything that I use: Audacity, MP3 converter, Ari, and Anchor, right? And like I said before, everything is free. except for Airy. I keep saying Ari, but Airy. Everything is free except for Airy because you have to buy the license. Now, what you do with Airy is you can take things off of YouTube. So I'm gonna share my screen with you, and then we're gonna get technical. All right. So just a little brief preview of everything that we talked about in the last one, and then we're just gonna move on to the next thing. So is everybody good? Thumbs up. Yep. All right. Cool. So share my screen right now. Boom. Share. So can you guys see what's on my screen right now? Tashin, can you see what's on my screen? All right, cool. So basically, this is Anchor, right? So Anchor has their dashboard. So Anchor has their dashboard, right? So far I got about 1,200 plays, shooting for 1,300 plays. Hopefully by the end of this next episode I'm going to post, my estimated audience is 20, which means that those are the people who have subscribed to the podcast. And my wallet's like $10.68. But like I was telling Brother Tashin, I don't do this for the money. I do this for the branding. But it also gives you geographic location of where people are listening to your podcast, right? So United States, Barbados, Ireland, Malaysia, Puerto Rico, Argentina, India, Canada, Denmark, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Germany, right? So a large percentage, of course, is in the United States, is 94%. And then that also, when you go over to listening platforms, you can see other, right? Other might just be desktop computers. People might be listening to myself on desktop computers. 55% is through Apple Podcasts. And that's why I mentioned the RSS feed in the beginning and going on iTunes and giving them your RSS feed because, you know, Spotify is probably for people who have Android devices, right? Spotify and Anchor. But if you have an iPhone, 9 times out of 10, the easiest thing for people to download is Apple Podcasts, and everything is at their fingertips. They don't have to download more apps, and it's on there for free. So being able to get that type of exposure, being able to use their platform will actually increase your numbers exponentially. Also, the analytics on gender, male, female, non-specified, non-binary, right? You know, you can tell that a lot of the people, over 50% of the people who listen to my podcast are males. Now, when you go over to the right side, 28 to 34 is just simple age, right? So my demographic is really male, female, 28 to 34 with a larger concentration on males. And it literally just goes, you know, it flip-flops from time to time because it really just depends on the content that I put out. So is everybody following me so far? All right, cool. So next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you the episodes. These are all the episodes that I have so far. And also when you do a draft on an episode, when you just do a draft, it'll be locked because it's not published, right? But you can always go in. You can see the dates. You can see how many listens you got. You can see how many ads were thrown in. And you can also click on these little 3 dots over here and go to delete the episode, view episode details, everything like that. So you can be able to change those episodes up. The money portion, like I said, sponsorships, $10.68. You know, they have other sponsorships that might pop up when your podcast gets that type of notoriety. Let's say you get 10,000 listens. Tide might come out and say, hey, we want to sponsor this podcast. And for every listen that they get from a Tide commercial, then they're going to give you like 13 cents or something like that, right? It's not that many, but you know, if you have a lot of sponsorships, it definitely adds up. Hi, Angela. Welcome to the webinar. I just saw you pop up. So we're going to go out of here and we're going to go to Audacity. Now, I literally just finished an episode on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cancel it all the way and we're going to start fresh. So what you want to do is just go on Audacity, which is right here. And just to let you know, Audacity uses MP3s. It's the easiest thing to do, is use an MP3, right? If you do M4A, that's more like Apple, right? So you want to get the converter that's right here. this converter right here, to MP3 converter free. Everything that I do is free. The only thing I had to pay for is Airy, right, which is right here, but to MP3 converter free, right? So, hold on 1 second. Hey, Tasheen, can you see my my screen still? What can you see?
We're looking at you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just looking at me? Okay.
Well, I see the Anchor
I see the screen. Yeah.
web page.
But now you see Audacity.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because when I switch it over, it says resume share. So that's why I just don't want to keep flipping and flipping and flipping.
No, you good.
So resume share. New share. All right, so this is where we're at right now. We're in Audacity. So I already have MP3 audio files hooked up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording my voice, and I'm going to show you guys what we can actually do. Actually, Tasheen, can you unmute yourself real fast?
Okay.
And we'll just have a conversation, just like a regular conversation. And I'll show everybody how to edit, how to add music the same way we did before, real quick. So Tasheen, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you are dedicated in this way to helping brothers figure out how to not only monetize but actually get the word out to I guess excel in this digital age of audio.
Thank you. We want to try to take this opportunity to highlight brothers who specialize in certain areas, and being that you came recommended in terms of doing podcasts, wanted to get this opportunity available for brothers to either learn how to do a podcast, enhance their skills in podcasting, and just learn the different aspects and how to be a podcast expert.
That. All right, so we just stopped that. All right, Tasheen, you can mute it now. So what we just did was, the conversation is coming through my speakers, of course, and that's recording on Audacity. So you have to be mindful of where you actually are going to be recording, right? It has to be a quiet space. But I'm going to show you a couple things real quick, so you can make sure that when you do something like this, you can actually export your audio. So, Tasheen, thumbs up. We're still on the Audacity screen, correct? All right. So let me move you over, because this is basically the campaign or the dashboard. So if you go right here where you can see this, you can maximize. You can go in. You can make it as small as you want. And then if you go to the next one over here, you can make it larger, right? If you basically go up to this right here, you can move it. You can move the whole thing, right? You could just move the whole thing from side to side or whatever and just basically space it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it smaller, and then I'm going to see, we could just move it on the track. So we can start it at 5 seconds. We can start it at 30 seconds. It doesn't matter. This is the flexibility of the track that you're going to be using. So let's maximize it a little bit. Let's maximize it a little bit. And when you're doing any changes like that, if you're trying to move the track left and right, always go back to the I when you want to do something else, because that allows you to basically highlight what you want to do. Also, if you're going to play it and edit it, you have to make sure that it's stopped or paused, because if you don't do that, then it's not going to do anything and you might lose your space. So that was just a brief preview of that. So we're going to go to File. We're going to go to File, and then we're going to go to Export. You always want to export as an MP3, always, because if you export as anything else, it probably won't pop up into any other system that you're going to be importing this into, like Anchor, right? So we're going to export MP3, and then we'll do Convo with Frat. And then that's saved to my desktop, right? Because you can pick wherever you want to save it at. So save to my desktop, done. So that's done. So let's see where my desktop is. Let's see what's going on with my desktop. All right, so Convo with Frat. It's literally right there on my desktop screen.
All right, so right now it's still showing the Audacity screen, so it's not. So we don't see your desktop where you have it stored.
Cool. Please let me know when that happens because I'm trying to make sure I do that. Hold on one second. Boom, minimize. New share. Bam. There we go. Share. So desktop should be on the desktop now.
Yes.
All right. So we see Convo with Frat MP3. It's literally right there. Just throw this stuff in here like a clean screen. So Convo with Frat. So that's where we're on right now. So new share. So you guys saw that. So I'm going back to Audacity right now. Now, I can just delete this whole track, right? Just delete the whole track. The track is gone. That was a conversation that we had, right? However, file, import audio. So we go to file, we go to import, we go to audio, click on that. And guess what? Convo with Frat is right there. So it jumps right back. So you want to make sure that when you're doing these podcasts and everything like that, and you get your track, right? You get your track whenever you pause it, make sure that you always export it as an MP3 and save it somewhere where you can get to it very quickly, right? Because you might do commercial breaks. You might have something that's a little bit layered. You might want to throw something in between, and you don't want to accidentally delete everything that you just did, even though they have a file, what is that called? Edit, undo, import, or edit, undo, delete, and all that other stuff. That's there for you, but we want to make sure that you don't have to use that by being proactive when it comes to the editing process. So let's go into the conversation. Let's press play. So Tashin, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you are dedicated in this way to helping brothers figure out how to not only monetize but actually get the word out to I guess excel in this digital age of audio. So we just heard that, right? If we maximize, and I did this on purpose, I paused a little bit on purpose. If we maximize, right, we get all the way in there. It starts from the beginning. Let's press play. So Tashin, if you guys heard that sound, that little minor sound, right? It's like right around here. So Tashin, we can literally highlight this entire thing. Remember, it's on I, right? Highlight the entire thing. And just go back. Guess what? That's gone now. Also, any pauses, any belches, any burps, anything like that. You have to be real meticulous with this because whatever you produce is what they hear. Now, everybody's not going to be perfect with it. However, you can still be really good at editing. It just takes a lot of time. So here's another pause. Go ahead.
So when you deleted that section, what did you actually click on to delete that part?
Oh, just delete. So see with the eye, see the eye?
Yep.
The eye is in control now. So all you got to do is highlight and then delete. Just the regular delete key on your keyboard.
Thank you.
That's all you got to do. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. So if there's any long pauses, let's say you're working with somebody who is, they're really good at dramatic effect, right? And they always want to add that dramatic effect by pausing after. There's a certain time you want to pause, and there's a certain time where it just seems like the episode itself is just kind of dragging on, right? So you can actually save a lot of time by just going in and just deleting those pauses or minimizing those pauses, right? So I never go from, wherever it starts, I never start right there. I always take a little chunk out the middle and I delete that because that pause is long enough for it to be a natural pause in a conversation, right? So let's go back to the beginning. click on it. We're already on the I. I basically keep it on the I the whole time, unless you want to do something different. Let's press play. So Tasheen, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. Enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for So we're on pause again. Let's say I want to take this piece out now. I just highlight it, let it go, right? And now we're back. We're getting a little bit closer, a little bit more refined in the conversation when it comes to access spaces. So let's press play. So Tasheen, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. Enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you are dedicated in this way to helping brothers figure out how to not only monetize but actually get the word out to I guess excel in this digital age of audio. Now, we're going to do another thing, right? And it's just practice. All it is practice. So maximize, it gets smaller and smaller, right? So I usually don't go that small, so let me go out. We can basically start a conversation wherever we want to start it, right? So not only monetize, but actually get the word out. So let's say I just wanted to get rid of whatever starts from right here, right? Figure out how to and see wherever the I is, it's going to start all over again. So play. Figure out how to not only monetize, but actually get the word out. Figure out how to not only monetize, but actually get the word out. See, it's going to start from the same place that you set the I at. So it's basically a placeholder. So if you do want to do any edits, just understand where you want to stop the edit at, and then just move forward from there. So you can just move forward from there. Because if you start from back here, guess what? You just lost your spot, right? Well, not now, because I was losing my spot earlier, but you would usually lose your spot because it wouldn't be highlighted anymore.
All right, George has a question.
Yep, what's going on?
All right, he's asking, is this a permanent deletion? Can you insert these items in different parts of the audio file?
Yeah, so it's a permanent deletion when you get rid of it, but here's the thing. If you really want to save something, that was going to be the next thing that I added. So thanks, George. Say add stereo track, or actually, no, let me add audio track. So you'll go to tracks when you want to add a track. You'll go to track, add new, mono track. A mono track is for voice. Stereo track is for music. So if you want to basically start it right here, right, and press play, how to not only monetize, but actually get the word out. How to not only monetize, but actually get the word out. So we can basically highlight this, right? And then we can just go up to edit, copy, bring it down here, paste. You can rip your audio from anywhere. You can just rip your audio as long as you add a new track to it, and it'll actually play at the same time if that's what you want it to do. I don't recommend it, but it's really all on how you tailor your audio. Now let's say you wanted to basically just make it as small as possible. So you can tailor that portion to be in between other things, right? Because you want to see how much audio you actually have. So realistically, we got about 52 seconds of audio, right? Let's say you wanted to put this into a different spot on the podcast. All you would do is click on the I, right? Let's say we wanted to put it at, what's that, 25? So you wanted to put it at 25. You would put it right there. You will go up to file. You will go up to, edit, clip boundaries, and split. So now that splits your audio exactly where you decided that you wanted to split it. Now you go back up here so you can drag it. So now it's not even a part of that audio anymore. Now you can go down here. You got to click on the I again. Remember that. Click on the I. And then you can highlight this. Copy. And paste. So now you just put that audio that you ripped out. And we could just remove that. You just took that audio that you ripped out, right? And you just put it somewhere else. So when we want to move it, we'll line it back. The yellow means that it's perfectly symmetrical, so it's already lined up. And then you can bring that back here too. Now it's going to sound foolish because of course I didn't listen to it as I'm blending it. So I'm just using it as an example for something that you're going to be doing later. Let's make this a little bigger. And you can see where the clip was. Clip right there, added right there. That's the new audio. Right here. Boom. Age of audio.
Thank you. We wanted
How to not only monetize, but actually get the word out.
Try to take this opportunity to highlight brothers who specialize.
See? So you can literally do whatever you want to do with the audio that you have. Now, I want to throw something else in there. We just talked about clip boundaries. I'm going to show you guys how to add music to it. How to basically add music to your podcast and how to use Airy to do so if you wanted to pull it off of YouTube. All right, so we're going to do a new share. Hold on 1 second. Guys, right here, boom. Right, so let me just install this update. Install. All right, so that's good to go. Now I'm going to basically throw one of the chill beats, right? So we can do. Actually, I'm gonna just download. We'll go to Google Chrome. Go to Google Chrome real quick. I'm sharing right here. Boom. Tashin, am I going to share?
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's say we want to go to YouTube. This is where Ari comes in, or Airy, sorry. This is where Airy comes in, right? So let's say I just wanted to do rap music, rap instrumentals, right? Rap instrumentals 2020. And the question that I got last time was, is this some type of infringement if you're going to be taking beats off of the internet? Now, I said it's not, and it's not. However, if you're going to be using the newest music, right, just understand that there's going to be some type of infringement there. Even though it's on the internet, it's free, and it's free and it's public, so there wouldn't be any trouble. But you know, just kind of use something from the 90s or something people wouldn't really care too much about when your podcast gets big, so they don't try to hit you for royalties or anything like that. So let's just go to this person.
The dealer gives you a trade-in offer. Will you take it? Feels like you're in the middle of some weird game show.
So I'm just using this one. You can edit that out too. That's nothing. So how Airy works is you'll go up to this URL, go to Control, copy, right? So we can get rid of that YouTube right now. Let's get rid of that. And then we're going to go to Airy, which right here, boom, right? So you guys see that? Now we're going to go into the URL, and we're going to just post that same thing that we copied. Now we're always going to pick MP3 because that's what you can use in Audacity, right? And we're going to download that. Now sometimes it's blocked, right? Because I download a lot of audio. I download a lot of books that I don't want to buy, and I just listen to the audio versions when I'm driving or when I'm walking to work, you know? And it'll tell you, hey, it's done, right? So now let's go back to Audacity. Let's go back to Audacity. Share. All right. All right. Tashin, can you see me?
Yes.
All right, you can see the screen.
Yes, it's on the Audacity screen.
Cool. So we're gonna go up to File, And like everything else that we want to do, we want to import the audio, right? Import the audio. You always import the audio and you export as an MP3 for anything that you create on this Audacity platform. So because it's not on my desktop, right? It's in my own Airy folder, which it saves it to, automatically. I can just click on it, open it up, and then guess what? It drops it right into Audacity because it's an MP3. So let's do a little bit of playing around. So we can hit these two arrows right here, and then we'll slide this entire thing over. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, so never mind. So we can't do that. We would literally have to move that and then move this because it's already chopped up. Yep, and when you see that yellow line, that means that it's, like perfectly symmetrical. So you can basically go here once you hit the eye, and then you can just get rid of all of this. Just get rid of all of that, right? You can get rid of the rest of this. It really just depends on how much music you actually want. Like I said before, yes, it is going to permanently delete it unless you pick a section and you copy and paste it. You can throw it on another audio track for later. You just got to remember it's there because it is an audio track. So any multiple audio tracks you have, Audacity will combine them. Audacity will combine them to create a ultimate track for yourself for uploading into Anchor, right? So we're just going to go to the beginning and then press play. So Shane, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. Enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for hosting this. So you see how the audio is over the music, right? Audio is over the music. Thumbs up. Cool. So what I want to do is I'll just get rid of this beginning part, right? And what I can do is I can basically click right here, right in the middle, and I can do another clip boundary, right? So I'm basically separating it. I'm splitting it, splitting the audio. So that's a clip boundary. So now I'm moving that. I'll basically move that to the end, and then I'll have this in the beginning. I'll just have this in the beginning. Whenever you see that yellow line, remember that's perfectly symmetrical, and I usually overlap. So the music and the words kind of like overlap a little bit, at least in the beginning. So let's go back to the eye, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do a fade out, right? So you're gonna highlight this whole thing. This whole thing right here, right? Because the one on the bottom, whenever it's in white in the background, it's highlighted. Now you go up to you go up to effects, and you do a fade out. There's so many different things that you can do. Adjustable fade, you can fix the clip, you can do a crossfade, you can do a notch filter, you can do a sliding stretch. All of these things I don't even focus on, right? The only thing I focus on personally is equalization, noise reduction, fade in and fade out. You can also change the tempo and change the pitch and the bass and the treble and all that other stuff. I don't do any of that because I don't think that you need to do that unless you really want to get technical with the software. And you don't have to if you don't need to, because you're really just editing words, clips, and adding music to it, something that people actually would like to hear. So we're going to do a fade out. So we highlighted the item before, click fade out. Now what you see is this item down here, it got really large and then it got smaller because it's fading out under my words. So let's do the same thing on the other side, right? But we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do a fade in. Because when you're done with the episode itself, right? When you're done with the episode itself, you want that music to fade in so it can finish the episode out, right? It's just like any regular talk show. When they say, hey, we'll be back with, we'll, after these short, commercial breaks or whatever, and then you hear some music or you hear some cheers and claps and all that. It's basically the same thing, same idea. So now let's start it from the beginning. Let's press play. So Tashin, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm enjoying the weather and a great Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you are dedicated in this way to helping brothers figure out how to not only monetize but actually get the word out to I guess excel in this digital age of audio.
Thank you. We wanted
how to not only monetize but actually get the word out.
Try to take this opportunity to highlight brothers who specialize in certain areas, and being that you came recommended in terms of doing podcasts, wanted to get this opportunity available for brothers to either learn how to do a podcast, enhance their skills in podcasting, and just learn the different aspects and how to be a podcast expert.
I'll to that. All right, so that's literally all I do. Of course, it's a lot longer because of the episodes and everything like that, you know, having a back and forth conversation with individuals and basically digging in the way that I do, making sure that we skip all the pauses, make sure that I can remove any types of beeps. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. I believe that for as long as your podcast time is going to be, it's going to take at least twice as long to edit it the way that you want it to be for it to come out and sound like really, really good, right? So that's just the technical portion. So we talked about the idea into reality. So start thinking about the topic, something that you actually want your podcast to be. The focus groups, right? Take it to your friends. Say like, hey, you know, if I did a podcast on X, Y, and Z, would you like to be on it? You'll probably have 5 or 6 episodes off the rip, just with talking to different people, talking with different people. And I also forgot to mention, my apologies, questions. I always give out questions. So I pretty much limited to 10 questions that you can basically ask anybody. What's your name? Where'd you grow up at? Where'd you go to school? What's your current occupation? So people can understand who you're actually talking to, because a podcast is like a conversation in a place you've never been with somebody you've never met. So you want people to feel comfortable with this person as if they're meeting them for the first time, because they are. And you can edit the questions and everything through like a Google Doc or something like that. So I usually send my Google Doc out maybe a week prior to recording the episode on Zoom. And Zoom is also great because, you know, as Brother Tashin has mentioned to us earlier, this whole podcast series right now is being recorded on Zoom. So I can literally take this episode that we're doing right now and throw it in Audacity after I ensure that it's an MP3, and I can edit it, chop it up, add music to it, do whatever, and then publish it and then submit it to, you know, all of the brothers so they can understand how to actually take the step-by-steps to create their own podcast and do the editing for their own podcast. So for right now, that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I'm looking in the chat now. I saw George had a question earlier, and I think it was kind of addressed, but I just want to ask it again so you can just make sure it was answered correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a way to level audio so no one sound file is louder than another?
Well, yeah, it's with the equalizer. So it automatically has an equalizer, because Zoom also does that as well. You know, some of my episodes that I did before, I had recorded it on my phone, and I definitely should have recorded it on Zoom. So you can use your equalizer, and also I think it's clipping. It's automatic. It's automatic. It has automatic clipping, right? In Audacity. Because the last episode that I did with much more than a hashtag, I added like, you know, thank you for your time, and I added like an audience or something like that, right? And I'll show you guys, basically show you guys the website that I go to for free sounds as well. Free sound, I think it's Free Sound Bible or something like that. Hold on one second. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Tashane, what screen can you see right now for me?
Your desktop screen with the Airy. Our Airy just went away.
All right, cool. Give me 1 second. Try to make sure I get this free sound. Boom. Sound Bible. Yeah, free effect sound. Yep. So let me new share. So what do you see right now, Tashine?
Still your desktop.
All right, hold on.
Okay, now it's showing soundbible.com.
Cool. Soundbible.com. So this is where I go to get any type of free sound that I want to be able to use. Now it's not downloadable unless I think you have to like pay for something or whatever. But if you want to applause or anything like that, you just tap applause and you can go and it'll actually tell you how long it's going to play for, right? Ovation. So when we're talking about leveling out your audio, obviously ovation is going to clip because it's significantly louder than a crowd applause. Or you can do a small crowd applause or something like that. It's automatic clipping inside of Audacity. So nothing is just going to sound outrageously loud. Does that make sense? All right. So what other questions do we have?
All right. George, if you want, George, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I usually hate unmuting Tashine. That's why I usually go in the chat. But I'll ask this question. Like, suppose you want to do a dual podcast with someone and you have more than one source of audio. Can this software handle that?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. The only thing that you have to worry about is turning that audio into an MP3 and then adding it to Audacity. Because remember, when you're editing, you're going to edit for at least twice as long as you record it. So a 30-minute podcast can take you about an hour to an hour and a half to edit just to get all of the sneezes out or the beeps out or anything. If you're really meticulous like that, get rid of all of the pauses, shortening it up and everything, it can take you about an hour to do. So if you're going to add multiple audio files into it, that's going to be a nightmare. So in what case would you say that you have multiple audio recordings? Like you're saying that you are basically you're basically doing an interview with one person and trying to blend that into an interview that you did with somebody else?
No, it's two people. Let's say it's two people interviewing one person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Zoom is the best thing for that because Zoom is going to give you multiple audio files. Like right now, it'll give us 6 different audio files for anybody who speaks. It'll give us 6 different ones, but it'll also give us an audio file in totality. So you don't have to worry about that. You can really just hold it on Zoom, and then you'll just get the total audio file from that. Just if you're going to do commercials or anything like that, I would always suggest that you let your listeners know that you're going to a commercial break. That way you can just stop it.
Is there another source than Zoom? I'm not a Zoom fan, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's all.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That's all I use. That's really all I use. So I used to use my phone as well, but when I'm recording, I'll record on Audacity because my speakers, the answers and everything are coming through my speakers, so it's going to pick it up. And then Zoom is also recording the audio as well, so I have 2 different ways of recording the interview itself.
Got it. Thank you a lot, brother.
No problem. It's really fairly easy. It's fairly easy. It just takes you to, basically, put your hands in and use it, play with it, you know, look at the effects, look at the transitions, and kind of watch like a couple YouTube videos. I have some YouTube videos available for Tasheen to email out to you guys for further instruction and further help if I can't be reached. So.
Would it also matter if using a headset or a microphone or any equipment just to get a clearer quality of sound?
As long as it's recording the audio, you're good to go. As long as it's recording the audio, as long as you have an actual audio track that you can upload, you're good to go. Because remember, Audacity can be independent from whatever you're recording. And you can also use it as a recording device and an editing device and a non-clipping device and a mixer. You know, you can use this as all of these different things. So if you, let's say you do have like a headset on with a microphone, where is that audio being recorded? On your computer, maybe on an application. As long as the audio can be exported out and uploaded into Audacity after it's converted to an MP3, there should be no problems.
Gotcha.
And then for going back to Airy one more time, when you download Airy, A-I-R-Y, it's going to be $20, right? It's the licensing fee. That's how much they charge or whatever. But it allows you to take music and instrumentals and stuff like that from YouTube, so you don't have to worry about dealing with any type of licensing from like a website like Incompetech. I used to use that, and I had to give the owner of the website, the owner of music, a shout out. I had to give him a shout out, and his music wasn't even that good. So that's when I found Airy, and I started getting the actual music from YouTube, because you can literally go down a rabbit hole trying to find something that really sounds good from, funk, classical, jazz, old hip hop, new hip hop, just everything. Like there's a smorgasbord of stuff for you to be out there using and editing. So.
Now, for someone like Leo, who is an artist and a musician in his own right,
Mm-hmm.
would the process be the same if he wanted to use his own music as intro, outro, breaks, and things like that?
It's his music. He owns it. He can do whatever he wants.
Okay.
For sure. So, I mean, I would actually suggest that he does do that, right? Because it's promotion for, his artistry, which is what this is anyway.
Thank you for that, Frat. And you know what? I was going to ask if, what you call it, Airy,
Mm-hmm.
if the views from Airy count for YouTube.
No, so Airy is independent. Airy is just a program that rips things off of YouTube.
I see.
I mean, yeah, because YouTube, like, for it to count it as a view, what does it have to be on, like 15, 20 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm only really going to listen to the audio for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
And if I like the feel, then I'm just going to steal it. Like I'm just going to rip it off of YouTube, and I'm just going to cut it, get rid of the fat. I don't have to listen to anything else, and basically just put that into my episode when I fade it out, and then I fade it in when I'm done.
Got you. Copy. Thank you.
No problem. So does anybody go ahead?
No, I was going to say, and then, for those, for brothers, if you're doing anything fraternity related in terms of podcasts, we do have audio MP3 versions of fraternity songs that could also be used when that's a specific topic or a specific audience that's being used. Angela, I know you're a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha, so I don't know if you are able to do the same thing for your sorority songs, if you're doing anything that's targeting your sorority sisters or membership, but just something to consider.
But that's also licensed. That's also licensed, to make sure you get the proper approval from nationals if you are going to use something like that, because if they usually give you the thumbs up to do something, fraternity or sorority related, then it's nothing is really up in the air. They just want you to make something that's going to be, of quality. So. Yeah, that itself is licensed though. So I have to say that. So. But yeah, the biggest advice I can really give to you is put the time in, just sit in front of your computer and kind of just like spaz out with the software. and just try to figure out how it works. Just watch the YouTube videos and everything like that on how to use Audacity, how to perfect Audacity, how to, merge, how to do clip boundaries, how to fade in, fade out, equalize, how to add audio, how to cut audio, how to echo, all of these different things. And because it's all readily available on YouTube. That's how I learned how to do it myself. So, but I think it's a great platform for editing in general, and then being able to drop that into your podcast on Anchor. So let me share my screen one more time, and I'll just show you something that I'm doing. So I'll basically, Tashin, can you see this?
Nothing is on the screen yet.
Got it. So, but it is my background.
Yeah. No, it's just blank, just a black screen right now.
Oh, hold on. My bad. There you go. Boom, we good?
Okay, so now it's your desktop.
All right, cool. Google Chrome. And let's say we go to Anchor. So, I have all of my stuff on here. So it just goes directly back to it. So when I go to my episodes, right, you can go to episodes. The one that I have not released yet, I'll be releasing this tonight. So definitely check that out. 3 dots, right? Go to view episode details. Then if you need to change anything, all you had to do is go to edit audio. Now, when you edit audio, it shows you exactly what clips you have in here, right? So just a little sample from what I did earlier. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Community Money Podcast. We're sitting here today for a community series with Dr. Carolyn Harper, Reverend McCarthy, and Brother Kendall Jenkins. Say what's up to the people, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
So that is how it sounds, because this is what it's going to look like. These files that I made, these came straight from Audacity with the breaks and everything. So I just have to add a commercial right here to break it up, because right here at the end, I basically let them know, like, hey, we're going to a commercial break. So
Other actions. So we've got to be diligent all the time.
So what we're going to do is take a quick break for our show sponsors. This is a Community Money Podcast community series. We're sitting here with Dr. Carolyn Harper, Reverend McCarthy, and Brother Kendall Jenkins. So that's that. Now, you can also listen to it, right? And you can edit it. If you click these little 3 buttons on the side, you can do download audio file, but you already have the audio file downloaded, so you don't have to worry about that. You can also split it into multiple segments, but you already did everything on Audacity, so you don't have to worry about that either. You can also remove it from the episode. Now, this is going to be the end of the episode right here, and Audacity will actually tell you how far in the episode you actually are on the bottom screen. So give me 1 second. And we are back. So as soon as you hit it, you can basically just go anywhere in the episode, and I'll just show you how it fades in and fades out and everything like that. It's really just a mixture of audio files. Sea of despair, that we must all keep the faith, and that we must keep our eyes on the prize. So thank you so much, Dr. Harper. Thank you so much, Mr. Jenkins, for sitting down with the Community Money Podcast so we can promote the Much More Than a Hashtag initiative. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So that is it. My name is Guru Ham, financialguru.ham at Gmail, financialguru.ham on Instagram. Check me out. Check out the other episodes that we have on the Community Money Podcast. It has been my pleasure to host this conversation, and I hope you guys liked it, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace. And then I have outro to all episodes. So I have an intro. I do specific intros for my podcast. So I say, hey, this is me, financialguru.ham at Gmail and on Instagram. And today we're going to interview X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. After that, I throw a sponsor segment in. After that, I'll throw my first portion of the episode that I did on Audacity. After that, I'll throw my commercial in. After that, I'll throw my second portion in from Audacity. And then after that, I'll throw in my outro to all episodes, asking everybody who listens to share. So I already have my strategic setup on how I want everything to look. And it works, right? It works when you actually have a system, because I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I know I'm going to introduce who's going to be on the episode before. I'm always going to do the sponsor segment at the beginning, and then I'm also going to do the Audacity file, and then another Audacity file after the commercial with an outro. So my episodes are not going to be any different unless I really decide to switch it up. Oh, George, hey, thanks, George. Sounded like a Diamond D beat. Probably so, I don't know. And Angela, quick question: what did you have an idea on? What would your podcast be about? Because I'm reading what you're saying on the chat. Hello, Angela, you there? Is she? I don't know if she. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of like out and about. So
no, I got you. I got you.
On a go. So I've been playing around with. I'm a PK, a preacher's kid.
Okay.
And I have a lot of church friends. And I've been toying around with this idea of having a podcast called Church Girl Crazy World, where we talk about church culture and how we're navigating being Christians and being believers in today's times. From the lens of being a Black woman growing up in the church. So I have a ton of girlfriends who are basically like church girls, and there's so many things that we talk about and we share that really isn't discussed, because there's just certain things the church really don't talk about that we feel it should be addressed, and we think that there's some things that the church didn't address growing up, and it's time for us to really talk about these things and explore a lot of it. So I got the courage up to I've started planning and mapping it out, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it. So
yes, and I'm glad that I can help assist you and in your journey to create something that I think has the potential to be amazing. Because like I said before, the when I was talking to Leo earlier, and I said his idea was great. The way that you create something sustainable, substantial, is you have to find a need, and then you have to fill it, right? That's every business proposal, right? Find a need and fill it. The floor's dirty. Who invented the mop? Millions. Right. The TV's acting up. Who invented the antenna? Right. These are things that we definitely have to be able to utilize. So that's basically turning your passion into something that can be able to be monetized, and you provide a different perspective that I've never even thought about. Because number one, I'm not a woman. Number two, I don't even think about what people would possibly think about, in those times when they're growing up in the church. Because I didn't necessarily grow up in the church, but I had a very religious family, so to speak. I wasn't in the church every Sunday, the church was like 2 churches right up the street. If I wanted to go, I could have just either Bethel Deliverance or Enon Tabernacle, right? They both, so that's a great perspective. And since you already have a target audience, and since you already have guests, I believe that you're definitely on to something. So I look forward to hearing it when it comes out.
Thank you. You really have shown a lot. I really commend you, because I didn't think that the podcast would actually go into the details that you have actually gone into. So I really appreciate the step by step sneak peek of some things that the softwares can do.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to play around with it this weekend.
Yep, for sure. And it's free.
Yeah.
That's I always give out free stuff. If it's free, it's free. If you have to pay for it, I mean, I bought it, So
Yeah.
that's really always, how I look at things. Everybody doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. We can do a lot of stuff for free, and you can be able to create things for free. And if you got to pay $20, $20 is $20.
Yeah, that'll work. Absolutely. Thanks again. I'm really appreciative for the invitation and for the reminder, because I was like running the streets a little bit, doing some errands, and totally forgot. So thank you so much.
No problem. And also, so with this, the next time we're gonna be doing this is August 23rd. So I'm basically just gonna mix the first one and the second one again as a refresher.
Okay.
There's really not a. Say it again.
That's good. I'm a teacher. It's important to be repetitive.
Yep, repetition is a mother of learning for sure.
Yes.
So when you guys are starting your podcast and everything like that, you can hit me up. I'll put my email address in the chat here. You can hit me up at financial.guru.ham and you at gmail.com. You can also follow me on IG at Guru Ham. And just shoot me a message if you're having some issues. Just understand that when you do your audio, make sure that you save it. You have to go to File. You have to say Export as an MP3. Always do that whenever you're doing anything, because it might shut down on you. Because it's technology, right? Software. It might shut down on you, and I don't want you to, lose what you worked so hard to actually create. Because I've had conversations with real estate agents, and they might mess up, or I might mess up, and I can just go back in Audacity and delete that. But then if I deleted the whole thread, then guess what we got to do again? The whole interview. Nah, we don't want to. You always want to make sure that you're being proactive with technology. Same thing. You said you're a teacher, right? What'd you tell people to do when they typing up papers on a computer? Always save.
Automatic
save periodically.
Oh yes.
Save periodically. So I'm just extending that same information, back, because it is pretty good information to make sure that you don't utilize your time and then I guess waste it if you deleted your thread, because that would suck. Right. But always make sure you go to that file, edit, undo, and see if that works. So
thanks again.
Yep, no problem. So we good to go?
Yep, I don't see there's no more questions in the chat. So
all right. So thank you guys for sitting down for the whole hour and 20 something minutes that we dedicated to this personal growth exercise with technology. I'll see you guys on August 23rd, and and we'll basically just do technical stuff, because that's really what this is. And I look forward to not only hearing you guys with your podcast creations, but also, like I said before, you guys can reach out to me, ask me some questions about what this program was, what this program is, and how you can be able to utilize it for your benefit, RSS feeds, and how to do things on Apple and all that other stuff. I'm here to help.
Great. So again, we want to thank you guys for joining us. And as Les said, we're gonna reconvene in a couple of weeks. We're gonna take a break, but we're gonna reconvene on August 23rd, which is a Sunday at 6:30 p.m. To do part 3 of Intro to Podcast. As this is being recorded, it will be saved. We will send you guys the link so you can have part 1 and 2 together. So if you just need to go back and look at anything, review anything, you have it available. We're also going to have it uploaded to our Eastern Region app. So if you don't have that downloaded on your phone, you can go and do a search for that in your Apple Play Store or your Google Play Store. Download the Eastern Region app. You should be able to find the links. But I'll also send it out to you guys, because I believe I have everybody's email information. So you'll have the links available for you to use. Les has put his email and Instagram handle in the chat. So please save it, give him a follow. Check out the other stuff that he has posted. And again, you guys working on your content or working on whatever projects you're working on. Let's share out with each other. We're able to, utilize the same resources or, be pilots in terms of interviewing and making sure the editing and the sound and everything is great, or just even making sure that we're just setting it up right. So feel free to connect with each other. And again, just reach out to us. If you guys, again, have any questions, just hit up Les in terms of the websites he's provided for us with Audacity, Anchor, and Airy.
Airy, yep, and also Free Sound Bible or soundbible.com, the other one.
Yep,
So that's another one.
Yep. All right. So if there's no other questions, no other comments, I want to let you guys, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks on August 23rd.
All right, out to that.
All right, bro. See y'all later.
All right.